It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
What is up, everybody? Sunday night live stream. Two fat guys in a tattoo shop. Happy Father's Day to anyone out there that is a father.
Happy you got a shit pullout game.
Yeah.
To everybody out there that's a dad.
Because you know what? That's why you're here. Any one of the millions of men out there who have fathered children.
Have you? So.
I'm not one of them, actually, as far as I know.
Nice.
So
nice.
My pullout game must be strong.
Yeah. I, on the other hand,
either that or I don't have a Michael Phelps in the bunch.
I am a father of 3 beautiful children.
Right on. So we already have people that must have been waiting for us to start, dude. We got Jesse, we got Sarah, we got our moderator Nikki. I know she's in here hanging around.
Do you mean Jesse that works at Bold Magnolia Tattoo?
That one.
In Aberdeen, New Jersey?
That would be the one.
The Bold Magnolia?
That would be correct.
Yes.
So we got people already on.
An apprentice.
This is awesome, man. I'm excited that we have people going, and hopefully this just keeps getting bigger and bigger each week. Honestly, we didn't have a lot of people on the live stream last week, but you know what? Our replay, man, we got some good hits off of that. So, I think that the fact that we did a interesting subject was enough to bring people in. Evan Klama. I know who that is. Okay. What's up, man? That's the tattoo artist Mech. That's it. That's right on, man. Thank you for joining us. Much appreciated.
Absolutely.
So today we're going to talk about before we get started, everybody out there in internet land, does it sound okay? Everything sound all right? Are we good? Give us a quick thumbs up just before we get rolling. And Jesse said that sounded scripted, Justin.
That was not scripted. That was right off the top of my head.
That was legit him asking to make sure we looked it up before we started so he didn't screw it up again for the third week in a row of trying to make sure that he remembered the name and where it was. Yes, dude.
I didn't screw it up last week. I did fine last week.
It was the week before then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't do well under pressure.
Yeah. So
we were talking earlier, because it's Father's Day, about the classic mom heart.
Right. How it's an iconic tattoo.
Right up there with the rose.
Right.
Really. Right up there with the rose.
But yet,
you know what you don't see a lot of? Not a lot of dad tattoos. But someone did point out to me today, which made sense, that you see dad tattoos after dad has passed.
Yeah, so I would say there's probably a lot of in memory of tattoos for fathers. I know me personally, I did that.
Right, so did I.
I think that's one of those things where, man, let's face it, most of us are out there or, very close to our mothers.
To our mamas.
I don't want to say we're mama boys, or whatever, but, man, it's just one of those things where it's like, there's always that deep love for your mom. And I think that's why people go for that mom tattoo right off the bat.
I mean, because no matter how many, it's just so skewed. Like mom is iconic, the mom heart. So no matter how many people have recently gotten into getting tattoos for their dads,
Yeah, but you know what? That was the World War II guys, even into the 50s, man. That was the thing to get was the mom tattoo, and even in movies and stuff like that, where they had the outlaw people or whatever, they always had the mom tattoo. So it was it almost signified
outlaw with a heart of gold.
Or this badass kind of thing, where it was you're a badass because you had a mom tattoo, which makes absolutely no freaking sense, but whatever. It's, Hollywood.
But do you remember
Who understands Hollywood?
Do you remember Goodfellas when they go back and they all eat dinner with Tommy's mom?
Yeah, the dog goes this way and the other one goes this way. Yeah, dude, that's probably one of my favorite scenes. That's
That's Scorsese's mom.
No, Coppola's.
Coppola's mom.
Yeah. That's his mom.
And from what I understand, she wasn't given a script. She was just told to act motherly.
And she did a hell of a good job,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
because she reminded me of definitely a few mothers that I grew up around.
Yes.
Yeah, one of my favorite movies of all time, man. Goodfellas is up there. Casino's up there. Yeah.
Jaws.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Jaws
Okay.
is my all-time favorite.
I mean, we could keep going with that, but I think
Scared the shit out of me as a kid.
you know what movie scared the shit out of me as a kid? 2 movies, dude, off the top of my head right now.
Right.
All right. First one, and I don't know why somebody let me watch it, but it has created a lifelong fear of dolls and little people for me. So
And this is a real thing.
this is not bullshit.
This is a real thing.
I will go out of my way to walk around the other side of a room if little people are around me. There was a movie in the 70s, and it had the guy that played Norman Bates. I don't remember his name. It doesn't matter. But he did a movie, it was called Magic. And it was about this dude who was a ventriloquist, and it was a scary movie, and at some point, the doll was controlling the dude.
Right. Right.
Okay, so that's number one.
Gregory.
No, neither one of us are going to remember.
I mean, I can see his face.
Yeah, me too. But, so that's my first movie. Created a lifelong fear of little people. The other movie didn't create any lifelong fears, but I don't know why. So when I was a little kid, dude, we're talking the 70s, right? My buddy, Eric, his dad was a diehard Kiss fan. So we used to listen to Kiss, man. We would throw the record on and we would listen to Kiss, right? I can't fucking stand Kiss, by the way, as an adult.
Strutter.
Dude, horrible band. Anyway, I'm
Detroit
probably gonna
Rock City?
I'm probably gonna piss. That's a good song. All right, I'll give them one. Anyway, they had that movie. It was like a scary movie where they were in the amusement park or whatever, and there was like the evil Gene Simmons. And if you've not seen it, you got to go out and check it out and laugh and go, that dude is a complete ass for even thinking that. But I was a little kid, dude. What do you want from me, man?
It's something you have to understand about when Buck and I were kids. It was before streaming services and before even VCRs, right?
Nah, man. It was the whole HBO experience.
Right, so like if you saw a movie like in a theater, like when I saw Star Wars as a kid,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see Star Wars again until I was in my 20s, maybe.
No, I think I saw it after that when my dad was like completely floored with the whole VHS experience. So the people that live next door to us, and the only reason I remember this because it's a bad memory for me. The people that live next door to us had the original beta, right?
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. So they were on top of their game with the new shit, right?
Yeah.
And my dad was like all amped to get it. And we had lived here. It was before we moved back to Pittsburgh. And my old man and I go over to Jerry Plavin's that used to be on 13. It used to be an electronics store, right? And we go in there and the old man's all excited. He gets his brand new VCR. And we get it home, dude, and we're all setting it up. And I said, all right, I got to go pee, Dad. I got to go pee. So I go run upstairs and I go to the bathroom. And then I come down and my dad was flopping like a fish, dude. He had a full-blown seizure. But I didn't know what the hell happened, dude. I honestly thought that he got like electrocuted or something. Because I was a little kid, dude. I didn't know what the fuck happened.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, so that was my experience. And then after that, dude, the old man would like faithfully, dude, I got boxes upon boxes of VHS tapes of, there's 3 movies on each tape.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, including like wrestling shit, because you know that was our thing when I was a little kid. I don't do wrestling now, but like back then, man, it was like we watched the what was it, NWA wrestling on TBS with all the Starcades and all that. Like we had all that shit, dude.
The midget wrestling? Did you watch that?
I did not. Did not. I do not do midgets, man. Matter of fact. Yeah, we won't even get into that.
So when I was a kid, one of the things that we did is at the back of the video stores, right?
Where the porn was?
Not quite where the porn was.
Not
where
behind
the
the
weirdo. horror movies like Faces of Death, Basket
Oh
Case,
yeah.
Motel Hell, The Hills Have Eyes, Texas Chainsaw, like just the super primitive B movie horror movies, man. And we would watch them and listen to Slayer and just think that we were like, man.
You know what, man? I really didn't do the whole horror movie thing, but I do when I was in high school, man. We did do the whole Faces of Death thing, man. And for whatever reason, dude, like I don't even know why you would be infatuated with watching that, but you know, we were a bunch of pot smoking,
Yeah.
whatever. But anyway, getting back to tattoos.
Oh, tattooing.
I digress.
Tattooing.
Yeah, so we just wanted to comment today that there is a, serious lack of, dad tattoos out there. And, for all you people out there that are, tattoo artists, man, that might be something to consider next time, somebody's walking in. I don't know what you would
And
get.
we don't mean daddy tattoos.
Yeah, we're not talking about like,
We're talking about
daddy
dad tattoos.
Yeah, we're talking about dad. Like, I love my dad. I almost said I must love your dad. Whoa.
Actually,
That would be a whole different show.
Before we go on to the next subject, one of my favorite tattoos I've ever done was on my friend Karen. Her father was a pilot,
Karen.
and when her father passed away, she got a tattoo of his personal plane,
Oh, wow.
flying into like clouds, like half disappeared.
Okay.
And it was like, it really turned me on to the idea of like, when people come in and they want like in memory stuff or they want like
Yeah.
couple tattoos,
Yeah.
that you can get like really, really personal. Like it didn't say rest in peace, dad, or anything. I mean, it was like if you didn't know her father and you didn't know her, it just looked like a tattoo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was like this intimate thing in between them, and it opened my eyes, sort of.
So Jesse just said I did 2 matching dad tattoos today.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I mean, I had here at one point, it was right after my dad died. I had the comedy and tragedy masks, and then I had in memory of, and then the day he died. Because I didn't have enough money to do his birthday and the day he died. And Jay Bird wasn't going to cut me any fucking slack, dude, because, he was old gangster tattoo dude. And so that's what I got for him, and then I wound up covering it up. So that's been going for a while now.
I have 2 tattoos for my dad. I have a monkey with devil horns surrounded by broken bottles.
Okay.
That says Pops. I got that while he was still alive, and then after he passed away.
Yeah, well, you did my new one for my dad.
Yeah.
So.
Just like a piston and
Yeah.
skulls.
Mine is a little bit more, out of the norm, but it's a cool one. I dig it. So yeah, man, we just wanted to throw that out there again. Happy Father's Day to anybody out there listening. And today we're going to talk about some stuff that we're going to put it in our spin to it, man, on red flag things that we had thought of, because, I started to look into this, man, and there was a lot of stuff that, I don't know, we would consider red flags in our book. So I didn't want to go down that path. But
Yeah,
you know what? We want to make sure that anybody that's listening has their input on this. So anybody out there, Gary Bradshaw, what's up, man? Thank you for stopping out.
Mr. Bradshaw.
Anybody that's out there that has a red flag that you consider a red flag, whether it's a tattoo, something about a tattoo artist, something about the shop, post it up real quick and we'll talk about it. We'll get into whatever you guys bring up and we'll go over our list that we came up with. But, I want to make this a, us and you conversation. We don't want it to be just us sitting here talking, man.
And we decided to kind of shy away from, I didn't like the dude's politics, or I didn't like that stuff is, it was a clean shop. He did good work, but I didn't like, whatever.
Right.
His political opinions.
Yeah, because
we decided to shy away from that stuff.
Yeah, right. So we were staying away from stuff that we felt like we had to tiptoe around for the sake of not pissing off anybody, whether it's somebody that listens to us or, So Clamma, right off the bat, throwing out a good one. One, they don't wear gloves because.
Jesus, who the fuck doesn't wear gloves now?
I don't know, man. it's I mean, I see tons of old school pictures of people not wearing gloves.
Yeah, from the
But
70s.
from the 80s going forward, I would think by now everybody should be wearing gloves. You know, I think isn't that a health? You know what, Clemma? Now that I think about it, man, I've seen people post on Twitter, whatever the hell you call it now, and Instagram and stuff like that, where they're talking about like people that are, so they're not necessarily doing the tattoo process, but like when they're putting on the stencil or they're touching the machines or they're touching the green soap or like any of this stuff around their station and they don't have gloves on. People like are like, yo, what the fuck? I'm sorry, we're really trying not to curse because YouTube's eventually going to come down on us. But yeah, I mean, like you're looking at it going, dude, you know, you're supposed to be, you know, trying to keep it as sterile as possible, clean as possible. So, I don't know if sterile's ever going to.
So before the skin is broken, before there's any blood present, right? If I'm cleaning the skin or putting the stencil on, I will clean my hands with antibacterial soap and usually some kind of sanitizer. And but once there's blood present, that's it. Gloves on after there's blood present.
So Clemma, man, thank you. That's a good one, man. We didn't even think of that one because I guess that's just something we don't even think about anymore because we're so used to seeing people wearing gloves, man. That's crazy, dude. He also did say though that he did hear some kids in juvie didn't even have anything on their hands, so they're doing, you know, homemade jobbies with some guitar string and whatever else. And yeah, man, that's just you're asking for an infection. We got a couple more, man. So we got a couple rolling in here. This is good stuff, man.
So, like, that's the one thing that I'll show anybody, Buck.
Yeah, like, Justin has always said this. He's actually said it on our live stream, and he said it on both of his interviews. Go ahead, dude.
Yeah, if anybody that comes in here, I will show them how to do a sterile setup, and I will tell them where to get the necessary cleaners for their surfaces, for their machines. You know, just as a general disease suppression.
Yeah, because you're basically stopping the spread.
But you know, like knock wood, right? Knock wood, and I'm a little worried about saying this because this is like when you say, "Oh, my car's running fine." Like for somebody to give away infections as a tattooer, not as a client refusing to take care of their tattoo, but for a tattooer to give people infections within the shop. That's always negligence. That's always negligence.
Somebody didn't clean right, or
right.
I got you.
Okay. I mean, it's not. It's. I mean, obviously, we're not sterile. We're not gowned. We're not working in.
Yeah. It's not like a hospital environment.
It's not a hospital environment, but
right. But it's clean, and you're doing everything you can to stop it.
Yeah, common sense.
Right. So awesome. Thank you, Clemma. Good one. Sarah has 2, and hate speech and symbols, both doing and wearing them. I mean, in this day and age, dude, I think most people are, going to steer clear of that stuff. I think that, there would be extreme circumstances, and one of them, Sarah, that we had thought of, because that actually came up with us, right? So if some big-ass burly biker dude that's covered from head to toe says, hey, man, I want a Iron Cross, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. That's a tiptoey kind of situation, especially with both. But I know that in this day and age, I think that a majority of people are not going to do those tattoos. And I've actually seen other tattoo artists that are doing free cover-ups for those. I've also seen different removal companies that'll do removals for free for any type of that stuff. Because, man, like there's kids that I guess eventually grow out of it or fucking wake up and realize that they can't go through life like that, and they, get them covered up or removed. So that's a good one too.
I mean, plus there's gang symbols as well.
Yeah, man, that's another one, dude. Like, I mean,
And it seems like a lot of people that get tattooed now, they want to get as close to that as possible
yeah.
without actually tipping over into it.
Which, you know what? We're gonna give you guys an example, okay? Only because this is a world that, you know, me and Justin were around. Me more so than you. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. You know, club tattoos. If you are not a part of a club, you are not a 1%er. You should not have anything that remotely looks even like, there better not be any. If I look at it quick, it could be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you, club name, club design, club logo, 1% sign, any of that shit, dude. And the only reason I'm saying this is you can do what you want. This is America. It's land of the free. Do whatever you want. Free speech. But I guarantee you that you're going to run into the wrong people and they're going to cut it off of you or burn it off of you or take sandpaper or a sander or acid. So that's up to you. Think about that. I'm just trying to give you some fair warning, man.
So
I felt like I was preaching there for a second, and I didn't mean to be on my soapbox about that, but it's just one of those things, man, that, you know.
Yeah, we live in a world where you can buy club colors on Temu.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that, man. You do not want to be in those positions. Trust me.
So recently I tattooed a guy. A guy came in, and he'd done a lot of time in Florida and Texas. He told me, good guy, seemed like a decent sort, but he had SS bolts on his hand.
Yep.
And he explained he'd done time, like real state time in some heavy places, and so he's like, I want to get it covered, and I was like, all right, let's cover it.
You know, I actually had thought about doing a episode about that, man, like club tattoos, gang tattoos, prison tattoos, but, you know, here's the thing with that. I don't want to come off thinking like I'm an expert by any means on the subject. I don't want to steer anybody wrong, and, you know, oh, it wasn't included in your video, so it must be okay. I mean, I'm not saying that people would be, I would hope not, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, you know, I'm probably better off just not even doing it. It would be ill-suited for me to do that. Because, you know, I'm not a prison expert, I'm not a gang expert, I'm not a, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get involved in it. I just want to tell people that if you're even thinking about that, really, really, really do your homework and really, really, really think about what you're doing, man, because you're going to wear that for the rest of your life until it's removed or covered over. So, and I'll stop preaching now.
I mean, I just brought that up because this dude was really just, when he was a kid, got into some shit like a lot of us did when we were kids, and he ended up in a pretty bad situation upstate.
I'm sure.
And so he had to make certain choices.
Yep.
And now that he's out in the world, he has his own children. He's a contractor. That was the thing we were talking about. He's like, I got to get this shit off my hand because I'm going into people's homes, and I don't want to like offend them or give them the wrong idea.
Right.
And yeah, I gladly covered it up for him.
So we got another one. Jesse typed it out. I guess him and Eva are listening. Eva says, when the shop asks for a deposit but doesn't have their address posted online. So I don't know if they mean like email address or the actual shop itself, physical address. So, yeah, I guess where she's going with that is the dudes that are going around being scumbags on like Instagram and stuff like that, and they're taking deposits saying that they work at a place and they don't even work there.
Right.
I see that all the time, where
Fake
people
account.
make fake accounts and they're look. I think that most tattoo artists will tell you that they will not take deposits online, over the phone. first of all, the deposit is supposed to be for you to be doing your consult to begin with. So I don't know, man. It just seems very shady to me. So that's good. That's another good one.
See, I don't know about that now because like I've started to take deposits over the phone and online because there are people that
but they're calling you.
Yeah, they're calling me and talking to me.
Right.
I don't take blind deposits.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So people are just blindly doing it online, and like they're actually calling you and talking to you. So that's a different story.
But I mean, I had a system where people had to come in with the cash to make the deposit and speak to me face to face.
Right.
But in the computer age, that's just always not practical.
So, and to kind of like expand on that, Nikki said an artist taking a deposit then rescheduling more than once. So somebody takes a deposit, you do your whole due diligence and all that stuff, and then the artist keeps rescheduling on you. I've never had that happen to me, but that would definitely piss me off. That would be I would be at that point going, yo, dude, am I getting any kind of discount here, or like you taking some money off? Like, I could see, like, you know, man, hey, dude, my dog died, dude. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cancel on you. But if it's repetitive and it's been multiple times, then I would definitely have an issue with that.
There was a tattooer when I was coming up that was, I mean, he was doing work that nobody else was doing. He was doing this like crazy, blasted out graffiti style sort of Guy Atkinson, biomech stuff. But he was famous. He was famous for like maybe the third time you made the appointment with him. And if he said noon, he meant 3. And people just would put up with it because he was just doing what he was doing.
I don't understand how egos can get that big that you could feel like you can just screw over your clientele, man. I don't understand that. Dude, they're rolling in here. This is great, dude. We got people actually rolling in on the conversation and throwing stuff out there. So this is awesome because some of these things are on my list and it just makes it a hell of a lot easier. So this is awesome. We'll keep going with this. But before we do that, can you please make sure you smash that like button for us, and it'll push it out to some more people. Maybe we get some more people in here to join us. So Jesse said, an artist having heavy filters and editing on all their tattoo pictures.
Absolutely.
Huge red flag, man. If I look at your portfolio and every one of your pictures is like super crispy bright in the middle, all the oversaturated, like you know what I mean? And then all around the outside of it is dark, or even what's the word where I have the picture where it's black on the outside?
Virginette?
Yes. I almost said virginette.
Virginette? That's a different thing.
Vignette.
A vignette.
Vignette. There you go. There you go. Vignette.
So it didn't even occur to me until a couple years ago when I read some stuff online that people would even do that. People would even alter their photos online.
Yeah.
To make them look better. Now I can understand, like, you don't have the iPhone 36 or whatever iPhone has the best camera now.
Whatever number they're up to.
Yeah, the iPhone 89. So, you like maybe adjust the brightness a little on the picture because it's...
Yeah, dude, I don't think there's a problem with that, man. I mean, but
when people get in there and they start like...
fidgeting with the saturation, the tint, the colors...
Start smoothing out the tones.
Another thing that is a good indicator of that is if there is any skin outside of that area that is...
doesn't look right.
Yeah, man, it'll look wonky. You know what I mean? Like, most normal people... dude, trust me, I couldn't be any more white. If I was any more white, I'd be transparent. But there are times where you see people that do these pictures... and the skin around it is like a sheet of white paper.
Like your beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bastard. Had to make fun of me. You know, man, it's bad enough I got people calling me
there.
old.
I'm getting there.
Are you old or albino? Fuck you, dude. I'm old.
I think I'm older than you, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just saying, that dude was like, oh, are you old or albino? Great video. I was like, fuck you, dude. I'm old. There we go, cursing again. YouTube's gonna, whatever.
So years ago, man, I hire this dude, right? I hire this dude. He brings in his portfolio and he has the vignettes on all his pictures, right? I don't think anything of it because I'm not a tech guy. I'm relatively honest, right? And then I get approached by a customer who's like, Justin, I was looking at your dude's portfolio, and those aren't his photographs.
Like he was stealing them off of somebody else?
Yes. And I was like,
oh, no.
I was like, well, why don't you show me? And sure enough, she took me to to another friend of hers who was a tattoo artist. And this kid had lifted the photos off of Facebook, fucked with the colors, had changed the colors, fudged. He'd fricked with the colors. Like that's what they used to say on Firefly. Frickin'. He fricked with the colors and added the vignette and literally stole the portfolio.
Tantrum just jumped in. Hey man, what's going on, dude? He's an up and coming tattoo guy. He's out there. He's like Jesse, man. He's trying to get into the game.
Good.
Well, ironically enough, man, that kind of goes along what you were just saying, goes along with what Sarah's next comment was, and that is artists that copy other people's designs. She said, I mean art theft, not traditional designs. So somebody draws up an original piece and then bags it and then throws it out there as their own. That's a no-no, man.
That's a no-no.
Because we talked about that a couple of live streams ago where there was somebody apparently at the Philly show that was doing that, and there were a couple of artists that actually called them out on Twitter, dude. And they were like, yo, dude, that is my friend's original drawings, dude, and you got them hanging up as designs. Like, man.
So what I usually do, because all artists, if we're working in street shops now, like, I get brought pictures of tattoos.
Right.
And a guy says to me, I want this. Not something that looks like it. I want this. And so what I do in those cases, if I post that, often I don't post that stuff, but if I do a really good job on it and I do post it, I provide something in the description.
So,
like art provided by client, or if I can find out who did the original design.
Clamma is in here.
And okay. I don't do that with fully, like, obviously I wouldn't do that with fully custom work. Yeah. But if somebody brought in like a really nice Grim, tattoo of a Grim Reaper
that was altered, and
yeah.
So Clamma's in here, man, and he's got some amazing original work that he's done, and he does some stuff that, man, like I've seen him do stuff that I've never seen anybody else ever do. And it's crazy, man, because he's actually, during his interview with him, he was talking about how he'll have different subjects on a dartboard, and he'll just throw darts, and he'll pick, like, the first 3 darts, and then he'll be like, and I'm just throwing this out here, I'm not saying this, he's ever done this or whatever, but it'll be like, peacock, peacock, shotgun, and a clock.
There we
and
go.
He'll figure out a way to kind of make it together and make his own thing, dude, and his work is freaking awesome. He's actually done work for me. And, man, like, he's crazy like that. And really what he was saying during the interview was that's his way of, like, challenging himself. So this way there's never any kind of, like, set thing that he's going into it with, right? So for somebody like that, that is definitely his own original, never going to see it anywhere else. And if you steal that, then I don't know, man. That seems shady to me. All right, so we got more, man. This is good. This is good stuff, man. Awesome. This is what I love. The community that we got going here, dude. The input from our people. They show up every week. Good stuff, man. Now, if we can just get the other 1,000 people that are subscribers to jump in, it'd be awesome. So, all right. So Clemma has another one. When they have a high price, but they do terrible work. Ugh. Dude, we've talked about this before. How there are people out there that are charging regular prices, and they could be local, and their work is 1,000 times better than somebody out there that's charging some crazy amount of money. Remember we were talking about this when we were talking about the $50,000 back piece?
Yep.
And that the couple was charging like $2,000 an hour or whatever the hell it was.
If that was real.
If that was real. I mean, who knows, dude? You know, that's, to me, dude, I just feel like there's plenty of other good artists out there that aren't going to be charging an arm and a leg for a tattoo.
Yeah, and especially now where I don't think anybody should, I don't believe in price hunting for tattoos, but at the same time, I know that there's shops I'm not going to walk into because I know that, it's going to be $400, $500 from the rip.
But some people are like, you know what, dude? Like, I've heard both sides of this argument, and I don't agree with it. Obviously, I just said I don't. But then they're like, well, dude, if they charge that and people are going to pay it, then so be it.
So there is a long tradition of caveat emptor, right? Is it caveat emptor, buyer beware, in tattooing?
Okay.
Like, right? So the Moskowitz brothers
Getting all fancy on me, dude.
Yeah,
What
caveat
the
emptor, man, buyer beware. So the Moskowitz brothers used to buy tubes of Vaseline, and they had labels made. Moskowitz Brothers Tattoo Healing Solution.
fuck? Okay.
Probably cost them $5 for a penny, right? They sold them for a quarter each because that's tattooing. People used to buy machines, through the mail order machines. They would get them in a box without them being put together because that was always part of tattooing. Sailor Jerry used to cut his stencil. Like if you bought Flash from Jerry and he didn't like you, he would miscut the acetates. So like but he was a dick. He would miscut the acetates, man.
Well,
Because there's just a long tradition of and I don't agree with it. I'm just saying,
that is
buyer beware.
But that's been something that's been going around for years, man, because I remember walking into tattoo shops in my 20s and stuff like that, and they had their own, aftercare products and stuff like that on the shelf, and, we'll sell you could buy your aftercare stuff right here. And it was basically like, A&D ointment or, Aquaphor with their own label, which is fine. That's cool. You know what, dude? If I got to pay you an extra buck or two for the convenience of me not having to do that, so be it. But if you watched my how to prepare for a tattoo video, you would know that Buck already has all his stuff pre-bought. I don't mess around, dude. When I show up for my tattoo, dude, I got snacks, I got my tip money, I got all my aftercare stuff. I have 9 times out of 10 shaven already because I'm a bear and I don't have to subject the tattoo artist to busting out the hedge clippers and trying to shave. I drink a lot of water the day. I'm lying. I drink a lot of water the day before, the day of. Man, I make sure I take care of my skin that week. I do, a little extra vino or whatever. So, I'm prepared when I roll in there, dude.
So whose fault is that?
What?
Is that the client's fault or the artist's fault? I'm going to use artist loosely.
The overpricing thing?
Yeah.
So it is the customer's fault. And the only reason I'm going to say this is I'm going to give you a perfect example, okay? When I started driving, I think I could get gas for like 85 cents a gallon, okay? So now it's $4 a gallon, right? And it's in some places it's even more. And they always talk about, we're going to lower the gas prices. We're going to lower the gas prices, right? If you think about it from a company's perspective, they're already going, well, these guys are already paying $4 a gallon. Why would I lower it? You need gas. So, yeah, we'll drop it down to $3.50. And everybody's like, they dropped it 50 cents. That's awesome, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, it should be 88 cents a gallon. But you're already buying it, so why would I drop it? Where that's going to hurt them, in the long run is internet, YouTube, social media, when these other people that are doing freaking amazing work are out there and they find them and they go, holy shit, this guy's only charging $150 an hour, not $2,000 an hour. That's where it's going to hurt the artist. And then that's when they're going to have to adjust or shut down.
So, as a fat guy,
there's also the clout chasing thing.
One thing, as a fat guy, I got to jump off a camera for a second to adjust my belt because I've been in pain for about 5 minutes. I'll be right back.
Well, I appreciate the fact that you're not going to subject us to that, so that's awesome. Man, anyway, I think that there's something about the whole clout factor as well, going, oh, I got a tattoo from so-and-so. You know, but, all right, so we got more in here, man. This is awesome because a lot of this stuff is on the list that I had. So you got to find the tattoo artist that can get the job done right and not want an arm and a leg. Some tattoo artists want to leave your girlfriend too. Want you to leave your girlfriend too. We've heard all stories about that. Sarah said, I have an artist that moved to a new shop and her prices doubled because of shop minimums being so much higher. So that is, I guess, the case of where it's a 60-40 split or whatever, or 70-30 split with the shop, and so they raise the prices of their tattoos in order to cover the more expensive shop, I would assume.
Something I see a lot of that I don't like is when
her per hour went up by 40%.
When people switch shops, you know, and I've seen this a lot in tattooing. Artist gets paid, has a sitting left on a tattoo, switches a shop, and then when the guy goes to the new tattoo shop, the artist is like, well, you know, this and that. Like, they don't honor their previous commitments. And I don't like that.
I've never seen that.
Just like I've seen shop owners. So as a shop owner, I'm responsible for every tattoo that's done here, which means that if somebody works here and you don't like how it heals, and they've quit in the meantime or left, I fix what they did because it was done under my watch and I'm responsible for it.
Right.
But not all tattoo shop owners are like that. You know, you'll get the whole, well, you know, look on the internet for them, which is like bullshit.
So she's saying that they her per hour rate went up by 40%. That's a huge jump. I mean, you know, man, I think that at that point, that's a discussion that she probably needed to have with the new shop before they moved into that shop, man. I mean, that just seems crazy to me that all of a sudden you would be charging that much more money. But again, that's going to come down to, man, like, who's going to pay it and who's not. And then eventually, if it's going to be more people not paying it, that's going to be, you know, at the point where they're going to be like, I'm going to have to lower my prices just to get work in the door. I mean, look, right now there's some shops out there that are struggling and they're doing whatever they can to bring in business by, you know, $100 gumball machine tattoos and, you know what I mean? Like, I don't fault anybody for that. They're just trying to do whatever they can to keep their head above water. I think you got to just get creative and try to figure out ways to bring in more money in the shop. See, my whole thing is like...
Or you could just quit tattooing and go do something else.
Or that.
Yes.
I think that, you know... Okay, Mr. Oversaturation. I think, though, that the shops that are going to do that are going to be the ones that are going to survive, man. They're going to be the ones that make it through the rough times. Hey, look, to be honest with you right now, there's definitely some shops struggling right now because a lot of people just don't have extra money. I mean, when you're paying double the amount for groceries and gas and smokes and whatever else you do, it's, you know, man, like, you got to start weighing it out. Like, tattoos, you don't need tattoos. So, you know, eventually those people are going to wind up dropping their prices, man. Unless they're those people that are like, I'm booked out till 2026 and they do one tattoo a week. Then obviously they don't give a shit, man, because they're making enough money. Tantrum, yes, you are charging probably too low. But you are also new in the game, so I don't know if that's necessarily the case. He's saying that he charges $50 an hour. I think, you know, man, when you're new in the game, you get what you get, right? Like, you know.
I mean, when I was doing the game, I was tattooing homeless people. You know, I was tattooing bums.
Hey, man, I've heard other people say that, dude.
We didn't have fake skin.
Right. So let's get into some of the lists that I got, because I think that some of these things have already been mentioned. But here's one that I thought was
wait. You ever see the meme of the real shitty tattoo and it says, his lines are a little shaky, but his price is sure fucking good.
Yeah. So here's one that so Jesse and Eva kind of brought this up, but it's a little bit different. No healed tattoos in the portfolio or Instagram. So their whole portfolio is brand spanking new, you know, got a slather of some juice on there, brand new tattoo. Never any healed tattoos on their portfolio.
Obscured pictures.
Or obscured pictures.
Yeah.
So what are you hiding? You know what I mean? I think that that's actually starting to become a pretty big thing, man. I've started to see a lot of the, you know, fresh, you know, 2020, 2024, where they have them side by side, where people are putting that up as a, hey, look, man, my stuff holds. My stuff still looks good, healed. I think that there's a lot of people out there that don't know much about tattooing, that see tattoos and or see pictures of tattoos, maybe some of the altered ones that we just talked about. They've never been tattooed before, and they expect it to look exactly like it looked the day that they got it. They don't realize that once they heal, they're going to be a little bit duller, a little bit not as, you know, crisp.
Yeah, they're going to heal into your skin.
Right. That's the whole purpose. Over-edited photos. We already talked about that. Here's one that I actually saw a couple videos about, which I think you and I have actually brought this up before, but I thought it was worth mentioning on today's show. Wanting tattoos on your hands or necks, or neck, not necks, you don't have more than one neck, without any other tattoos. So you have absolutely no tattoos anywhere else on your body, and then you walk into a shop and you're like, yo, I want a hand tattoo, or I want a neck tattoo.
So I work in a street shop, so that's a discussion. Because I think that we're in a place now where if you're not working a professional job, you can't have your hands tattooed now. Like I tattoo a lot of guys that are labor guys, that are in the trades. Their hands are all tattooed. Their necks are all tattooed. I do draw the line at faces, but it's always a discussion. It's always a, what do you do? You know, what are you about? I'm very reluctant, but I will do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
At this point, I will do it.
Because you have a conscience. I mean, look, I think that the video, the last one that I saw before I actually put this down on the paper, was the guy flat out said, you don't understand the tattoo impact because this is for life. And I don't think you understand the impacts that tattoos have on a possible job going forward and other things throughout your life where people are going to look at you and whatever. I don't know if it's as prevalent as it used to be. I think that you probably, you know, it might be even harder to see somebody without tattoos these days than it is somebody that is tattooed. But
it's the Burger King guys. Two kids that came in the Burger King, but they wanted the skulls and the wings that went up onto their faces, man. You know what I mean? Like, it would have looked really nice.
Right, but you are
but they
a
were
19-year-old kid that works at Burger King, and you haven't figured out what you're going to do the rest of your life yet.
So the story, if you haven't been here before, is two kids came into the shop. One said he was a producer, one said he was a rapper, and they wanted their faces done, their throats and faces done. So I was like, trying to be cool because you can never really you don't want to make enemies. You know what I mean? You don't want to say, hey, get the fuck out of here, kid. You're too dumb. So I'm like, well, where's your stuff, man? Is it on Spotify? Is it on Apple Music? And then they got real quiet and started mumbling. And I'm like, well, where do you work? And they're, oh, well, we work at Burger King.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, when you get some music out, I'll tattoo your throats and your face. But while you're working at Burger King, not so much.
So Tantrum said that a lot of people don't pay attention to details either. Jesse said, I think tattoos look better when they're settled.
That's how you know Jesse's going to be a good tattooer, because he says stuff like settled.
Jesse also said that's a Baltimore bodysuit when you just got your hands, neck, and face tattooed, but no other tat anywhere else.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. I think I never heard that term before, but I've heard tattoo artists talk about the people that get tattoos from their elbow down to make it look like they got a full sleeve, and they don't. You know what I mean? Like they have nothing up here that's just from elbow down. I've never heard that term before, but okay.
But let's So if I see a dude in a long sleeve shirt with the button up and the long sleeves on, and you can see that his neck and his hands are done, that looks fucking tough. That does. That's a good look, man.
Okay. Hey, man. I mean,
like Viggo Mortensen in that movie Eastern Promises, when he's all dressed up like a Russian gangster and his hands and his throat are done. He looks lethal.
I mean,
Viggo.
I think that, I'm at the point right now where I don't notice people look anymore, but I know it happens. And, it kind of is what it is. It's funny, man, because I was at the grocery store and I had a Bayou Harley Davidson shirt on from one of my road trips, and obviously I'm tatted up, and I had a Harley shirt on, and the girl was like, "Do you ride?" And I just looked at her completely puzzled, right? So I go out, I do what I got to do in the store, and I come out, and she's standing out front, and I go, I didn't mean to look at you like, what the fuck? I just was I was floored that somebody would ask me that. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm laughing, but I guess I don't know.
So 10 years ago, I start seeing young kids, or young 20-somethings, with metal shirts on of bands that I liked when I was a kid. So my dumb ass is like, yeah, man, I love Crocus, man. Crocus is sick. And they're looking at me like, huh? And one of my younger friends is like, Justin, they don't like Crocus. They're just wearing some vintage shirt from the 80s. And I'm like, vintage from the 80s? What are you frickin' crazy?
What was it, the one where they were talking about Kim Kardashian, or one of them was always wearing a Guns N' Roses or a Nirvana shirt or whatever, and they were like, name us a song. And they were like, yeah, dude. Don't even get me started on that, dude.
Kimmy got a big old butt.
Oh, yeah. Nikki C, I got a compliment today on an 8-year-old tattoo.
Yep.
Tantrum. I don't know tattoo on faces, or I don't tattoo on faces, and I agree with dude. You don't want the little homies walking around like Homie the Clown, still stereotype. Exactly, dude. You can't be setting yourself up for failure just for a tattoo, dude. You're out there, you're still young, you're trying to get your life together, dude. Don't do that to yourself. And Drag shows up. What's up, brother? Drag said, I started at 150 euros before I not move. So he moved. Face and hands are at last. So he's saying that'll be if somebody comes in and that's their last spots, then he'll do them. Coming out of my generation, I love details. I am late. He's traveling. Greetings, amigos. What's up, dude? Drag is traveling. Where are you going to, dude? Where's somebody from Spain? Where do you go for vacation? Where do you holiday? There you go. That's the European term, holiday.
Holiday.
Yeah. We call it vacation. They call it holiday. So, yeah, Drag, where do you go for holiday? All right, so let's get back into some of these other ones. So here's one where I had to take a step back, and Justin and I actually talked about this. Over-sexualizing pictures, meaning we're not talking about a hot chick that's posing with a tattoo. We're talking about, like, the dudes that are, like, taking pictures of the chick's full boobs when they could have just put the picture of the tattoo that was done between their boobs. I'm trying to think of examples where I'm not going to get yanked down for saying it, but that's the best one I could come up with.
So a good example of this is that when H2O Ocean came out, right? And I'll name them. Their catalog. Their catalog was model quality tattooed women in bikinis, right?
Sex sells.
For what do you call it? For
Their aftercare?
their aftercare. I mean, they had one of the most attractive catalogs I've ever seen in the tattoo industry.
Right.
You know?
But
So I agree with you that it should be kept separate. So I've taken, like, oh man, I like to take pictures of heavily tattooed women who are friends of mine.
that's different, dude.
But that's separate than when I'm done tattooing them. Those are two separate things, and that's not as weird as it sounds.
No. I know exactly where you're going with that. I think what we're talking about is, like, there is, I don't know, man. Like, let's say your daughter goes to get a tattoo, right? And the dude did, like...
She just did in Paris.
But I'm saying, like, they just did, like, a side boob, right? There's no reason for them to take a picture of her standing there with her whole top off.
No, not at all.
If you're taking a picture for the purpose of the tattoo, then do the tattoo. There's no reason to have a chick, or I keep saying chick, but there would be no reason for a guy to be standing there with, like, his pants off and taking a tattoo. I don't know, man. I'm trying to make this evenly balanced as much as possible, but usually when we're talking about sexualizing, we're usually talking about females.
It's understandable.
But yeah, so that was one that came up that I actually thought was worthy of bringing up because, you know, man, it's going to go roll into the very next one, and then we'll get into where drag is for vacation. But it's going to roll right into this next bullet point that I had, which is sketchy vibe from the tattoo artist or the shop.
Right.
If you walk into a tattoo shop and you're uncomfortable, for whatever reason, whether it's because the artist is making you uncomfortable or the shop has, like, this weird vibe going on, that's not the place that you want to be. There's plenty of other tattoo shops to go to, plenty of other tattoo artists out there to go to. There is no need for you to be subjecting yourself to that, dude. Especially in this day and age where there are people that are out there tattooing that are specializing in different areas and whatever and doing whatever they do.
Last year I went to Atlantic City for a karate tournament. Not for myself, for one of my family. And I found this tattoo shop, and just for no reason I walked in, and it was just fucked up. Like, I seem to remember that they had taken magazines and cut them and taped them to the wall. I can't even just, like, I've seen, I've been tattooed all through the 80s and 90s. I got tattooed in people's houses and stuff when I was a kid, because that's part of what we did back then.
Later, Jesse. Thanks for stopping by tonight, man.
But I've seen people's, like, kitchens that were done up better than this fucking place I walked into.
Yeah.
And I just walked in, looked around, waved, and walked the fuck out. Man.
I mean, dude, you and I actually were talking about this before, and I think we've actually brought it up here before. I mean, like, we came through the time period of when the bikers and stuff were doing the tattoo shops, man. And, you know, man, there were days of walking in some of those shops and you were worried about getting your, like, ass handed to you, you know, if you looked at somebody the wrong. Yeah, man.
Remember
I mean,
when they smoked in
there's
shops?
like a whole different layer of stuff that, ironically enough, that we're actually going to do our discussion next week for everybody that's still hanging with us. I know we're running late, but sometimes we're going to run over because we got good shit to talk about. Our discussion next week is going to be how the time frame of when Ink Masters started to now, how much has changed. And we're going to talk about the direct impact of the show. And then we're also going to talk about just tattooing in general, how much it's changed in the, 15 years that show's been on?
Yeah, since 2012.
So we're going to talk about that. That's going to be our subject next week.
I saw a guy on the internet going through different reels and stuff, and he had said that he felt that Ink Master was the game changer. And that just stuck into my head, and I thought, you know, why don't we actually look into that? And we're not going to approach it from like
a negative.
Yeah, Buck and I really do try to approach things not from the God damn it was fucking better back like that, but just approach it like that. It has changed. Like it's changed radically.
Yeah. Sarah said, the guy I'm seeing has a few tattoos that are red flags, portraits of serial killers. I met him on a dating app, and if I had known about the tattoos before our first date, I would not have gone. There you go, man. I mean,
Sarah, what serial killers? Like, definitely if I was dating somebody and they had a Ted Bundy tattoo, no good. No good with the Ted Bundy. But, like, I might feel safe when somebody had a, Ramirez. I'd feel safe with a Ramirez Ted. Oh, no, if, who'd they make Monster about?
I don't know, man.
The woman that was killing the truck drivers.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like, that tattoo, no good.
I don't know, man.
So that is an interesting question. What if I walk into a shop and it's just full of dark, fucked up imagery?
Evan just said, I know a kid in my grade that has a prison tattoo. Evan, where the hell are you going to school at, dude? No, don't say that. Never mind.
But seriously, like,
Man.
what? So, like, I walked into Paul Booth's shop one time, and what Paul had done, which was really pretty fucking amazing for the time, is they had blown foam into the shop, so there were no square surfaces at all. It was like being in some kind of weird sci-fi monster intestine, and he had taken antique medical equipment and like stuffed it into the foam when it was wet, so all through the shop in different parts of the walls were
I think it still looks like that.
And
I mean, I've seen pictures of his shop.
And it was like...
Yeah. I mean,
weird.
He does some pretty crazy stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Sarah said, not Ted Bundy. I agree with that. She said he has Ed Gein, the guy that inspired Leatherface.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, look.
So Gein was more of a grave robber than a serial killer.
Tantrum said Monster was a good movie. It was deep.
Right.
I've never seen it, so I don't know. I mean, so we know, I know a couple people that actually specialize in gray work, that do a lot of like serial killer horror stuff and whatnot. And then, ironically enough, if you look on my channel, I did two interviews from, Sophie, she owns Convent Tattoo. And, Haunted Tattoo Shop. It is legit. I never really believed in that shit. I can tell you right now, it is legit. It is 100% haunted. No BS. Right hand up to God. But her boyfriend, who Eric, if you guys are listening, man, Eric is really sick right now. He's battling cancer, so prayers are with him. But he collects a lot of serial killer stuff. I don't know why or whatever, but you know, I guess there's money in it, and he does. But so I don't know, man. I don't think the serial killer thing bothers me that much. I guess I would question why somebody would have that tattooed on them, but you know, man, like I would question why some people do tattoos on their face. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, it's not something for me. I mean, that's why everybody's unique, dude. Everybody has a little bit of what they want, you know, out there. As I look at Justin's tattooed face.
Yeah, I got a touch of the.
Anyway, so that is going to be the topic of next week, and I hope everybody enjoyed the show today. I want to thank you all for coming out. If you are not a subscriber, please do so. Subscribe to our channel. Check out the rest of our videos, and we will catch you all next week. Same time, 6 p.m. Eastern.
Same tat time, same tat channel.
I almost said it, dude, and it didn't come out. It just didn't roll off my tongue the right way, and I stuttered. So, yeah, so we'll see you guys next week, man. Much love to all yous.